So give them a little bit of confidence to attack in. Alright, we'll opt. I'll take a Gitu. And then we'll dive down, grow that a bit. And then go to blocks and take out the Pride Mate. Alright, so that worked. Do we kill the Nighthawk? I think we do. Yeah, that's a lot in the exchange there. Hey there, cons. Today we're going to look at Wondrous Wizardry, the Izzet Red Blue Wizards Matter Foundations starter deck. So this is a deck that wants to cast a lot of instants and sorceries, have those in your graveyard, and then do something cool with it. So in the deck, at the one slot, we have Opt, which is to scry one, draw a card. So we get to dig into our library, figure out, hey, does this card help us or not? Put it on the top, put it on the bottom, and then draw a card. Then we have Burst Lightning, which is just 1 red for deal 2 damage to any target, including face. You can also kick it for 4 to do 4 damage instead. So 5 mana, deal 4. So that can help us close out the game. The Gitu Lava Runner is a 1/2. As long as there are 2 or more instants or sorcery cards in your graveyard, it gets +1/+0 and has haste. So it's a great 1-drop for this deck. Represents some early damage, and then it can also help close out the game, get across the finish line. Dive Down is a form of protection for one of our creatures. It will give it +0/+3 and hexproof until end of turn. So we get to protect some of our more critical pieces. In the 2 slot, we've got Chart a Course, which is draw 2 cards and then discard a card unless you attack this turn. So yeah, depending on the tempo of the matchup, we can attack in and just draw 2 for 2 mana, which is always great. Drake Hatcher. So this is a 1/3 Vigilance Prowess. So Prowess is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So a payoff for casting instants and sorceries. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, put that many incubation counters on it. Incubation? What is that? Remove 3 incubation counters from this creature to create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. So this is all the answers in 1 card. So if we get to play this out and it sticks around, then we get to do some cool things. Mischievous Mystic, it's a 2/1 flyer. Whenever you draw your second card, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying. So something to enable us to go wide with some flyers. Heartfire Immolator, this is a 2/2 of prowess, and you can also pay 1 red to sack him, and it deals damage to equal to its power to target creature or planeswalker. So a form of red removal. Balmor Battle Mage Captain is a 1/3 flyer. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. So yeah, this is it helps us to be a little bit more aggressive with our attacks. Fiery Annihilation is 2 and a red at instant speed to deal 5 damage to target creature, so removal. And then you exile up to 1 target equipment attached. So that might be relevant, some pickaxes that are in the format. Enigma Drake is a star 4 flyer, and its power is equal to the number of instants and sorceries in our graveyard. So we want to cast as many instants and sorceries, get all of those in our bin, and then this will grow. So it's an evasive threat. Arcane Epiphany, it's an instant for 3 blue. It costs 1 less if you control a wizard, which we have tons of wizards. Draw 3 cards, so it's great. Archmage of Ruins, a 3/6 for 3 blue. Instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, draw a card. So yeah, this is definitely a card we want in late game to help close out the game. And then we got some curve toppers here, but this one's at a discount. If we have any instants or sorceries in our graveyard, it reduces the cost by 1 for each of those. So oftentimes we get that up pretty easily. And it's got ward 2, so it's got some protection built in. It makes it more difficult for our opponent to interact with it. Other curve toppers are Niv Mizzet Visionary. It's a 5/5 flyer. You have no maximum hand size. Whenever a sorcery control deals non-combat damage to an opponent, you draw that many cards. Awesome. And then the other is Ovika, Enigma Goliath. 5 blue red, flying, ward 3, pay 3 life. A lot of protection built in. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian and Goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. So definitely an easy way to close out the game. So instant sorceries, payoffs for those, and then just wizard shenanigans. So is it good? We'll find out. Let's take it for a spin. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel or liking the video. It would really help me out a lot. Right. Opponent goes first. We've got both colors. We've got some cheap instants. And we got some payoffs for having instants. So that is a keep. Depends on what our opponent are. They're blue-white flyers. So we want to have things to remove things from the sky. So we can opt on their turn. Get a little bit more information before casting our instant. Okay. They hit their land drop and they chart a course. So they're drawing, trying to line up their cards here. They did not attack this turn, so they're going to have to discard a card. So that can be useful information, and they get rid of the pick. So we'll scry, try to find a creature maybe. We don't need a tapped land, I don't think. Alright, we have an untapped land. Alright, chart a course. We might do that and pitch one of these extra lands, or we might pitch something else instead. We don't really have a good turn 2 play, so we'll go ahead and just do that now. Alright, we do get rewarded for putting instants and sorceries in our graveyard. But in case we flood out, I'd rather discard a land. We're gonna need access to red mana. Hopefully soon. Alright, they have a Healer's Hawk. Play tap land for turn, gain a life, pass. Alright. So we can burn some of their more threatening flyers here. But it only deals 2 damage. Yeah, so that has 3 toughness. Can't burn this bird just to shut down the lifelink. I'm afraid that they're going to have removal, but we'll play this creature out and play a land for turn and see what our opponent does here. Oh, double down on the Empyrean Eagle. So now we can't even block. Yeesh. It's getting out of hand quick. No blocks. This is at instant speed, so we can't trick our opponent to block in, but we're still not going to be able to trade for one of those creatures. Uh-oh. That's not good. We don't have a way to protect it. Do this now. That's not an equipment, right? That's an enchantment. Okay. Slows the bleeding a bit. Alright. Do this now. Just to reduce the cost of a Tolarian tower. And then we'll still have access to burst lightning. Alright. We need to get some flyers, so hopefully we can afford a Niv Mizzet at 6 mana. They're hitting their land drops, so maybe they're flooding. Nope, they have more removal. Do they pay the Ward 2 costs? They do. Alright. So if we hit a land drop, we get to run out Niv. That's not going to do it. Double spell. We want to hang on to our instants and sorceries to enable this prowess effect. Uh-oh. So they're gaining life, they're drawing 2 cards. That's not the best for us. Still getting in overhead. Alright, we hit our land. Play this out. Attack in with a 5/5 here. They have removal for our Niv, then we're in bad shape. How many stasis snares could they possibly have? Or at least drawn into. Okay. So they play out an angel. That'll gain them life. And they have their curve topper. So we get to separate a face down pile and a face up pile. And they're all lands, huh? So I'll give them 2 battlefield. An opponent chooses one of the piles, put that into your hand. So we're going to choose pile 1. Okay. I don't think that's what they wanted. Alright. We want to shut down the rest of their flyers. Hopefully we can survive here. So we can do 4 damage to something at instant speed for 5. That might be too expensive. How about we draw in first? Do we need to draw 3 cards? We need a way to remove something. So that feels bad. We're going to put that on the bottom. Alright, that's better. So this is at instant speed, so we can deal 5 damage to target creature. And then we can do 2 damage to target creature. So we're going to go ahead and just do that all now to keep this prowess going. So we'll do 2 damage to the Cloud Blazer. And then we're going to do 5 damage to the Curator of Destinies. There is no equipment to burn. Keep that growing. And now we can sack that. So we're not closing out the game anytime soon. So we'll attack in. And then hopefully we can keep our flyer for blocks. And say go. Target creature. So we could have killed that, but that doesn't feel right. Alright, they get to surveil. Gains life. And a turtle, so do need to find a way to get a second flyer or remove one of their threats. That will help. Do they commit? Okay, that's alright. Maybe our opponent's learning here. Alright. Back in with our 5/5 on the ground. I'm expecting a jump maybe from the turtle here. Okay, I'll play out our immolator, and then we're actually going to hang on to this land. Maybe we have to discard it for an effect. Alright. So this could be lethal, right? These would be pro 6, 11, 15. Yeah, it's too risky to attack in just in case they survive. We'll do it like this and see what happens here. Alright, I'll just get that in. If not, next turn we'll get it. No need to attack and carelessly. Yep. All right, so we got there. So I feel like our opponent was learning a bit, but the real turning point in the game is when we had both our burst lightning and fiery annihilation to take out their, remaining flying threats, and that's what got us to the finish line. All right. Opponent goes first. We have 3 dive downs. Whatever. This is wild. Okay. They're on Simic. They're ramping. They're ramping more. It's a lot of ramp. Okay. Second, third, 2-1. That isn't drawing cards. Alright, so that's a fiery annihilation target. But they get 1 turn with it. Yeah, we'll draw. Burst lightning. Okay, so hopefully they didn't draw anything good. That's a good one. All right. Okay. Double spell. Doesn't look very efficient, but that's where we're at. We've got a lot of dive downs, so if they go for us, we'll be ready. Bury our head in the sand. This is wild. All right. Hey, we need one of those. What the heck? Okay, so they have card draw, get to grow it. Yikes. They're definitely getting a lot of Simic value. We have a lot of dive downs. Alright. There has to be something. They don't have anything with reach. We get to draw 2 and then no discard. Put that out. Play a land. Play the key 2 lava runner. We have 2 dive downs at the ready. So, okay. This isn't too bad. We could double block and keep some blockers out. We'll see what our opponent does. I'm sure they have some answers to get by in their hand. 6 cards, huh? So we'll dive down that. We don't have a way to trade though, so we're gonna have to take some damage. That's okay, we're at 19 life. They get in. Do they have a follow-up play here? A ramper. Okay, our turn. Fiery Annihilation. That's at instant speed, so we don't have to rush into it. We can do it in response to maybe they have another fight effect. So we do have 5 mana. We do have 5 mana worth of instants in our hand. They go to combat. Alright. Block like that. We can take 4 points of damage from the librarian here and see if they play something else. They already had one Tatiova. Alright, we'll do it now. Stop the bleeding a bit. Alright. Attack in. Draw cards. Play tapped land. And keep mana open for our dive downs. They get another mild-mannered librarian. Okay, we don't have removal. We're going to be very careful with our blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can play the Goliath next turn. Return something to hand. I'm sure it's the token. I will shut this down for tempo. Alright. 6, 7. 6/6 flyer is pretty good. Get in. So they can do 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 on the way back. They don't have anything with haste. Feel like that. We'll play this out. It's a sweet card. Got ward 3, pay 3 life, non-creature spell, so dive down can be cool. Okay, that is a powerful effect as well. It's a little slow. Oh, but they do get to put some flyers out. They get to put some. They gain life. They put no draw cards here, huh? So we have 4 points of damage in the air. We don't have a way to draw cards. Oh, this is close. Ah, boy. That enchantment definitely gives them an edge. They gain haste until end of turn. Oh! I'm sorry, opponent. If you're enjoying the content, please consider subscribing to the channel or leaving a like. That would really mean a lot. Opponent goes first. It's always bad. We have a lot of dive down. Chart, of course, drawing cards is good. Immolator can help us attack in. It's not the most optimal hand for our opener, but it's likely keepable. I probably want to save some of these instant effects with our prowess creature. Get more value out of it. Surprise our opponent. They are on Orzhov life gain. Here we go. Where's my burn? All right. So there could be a world where we trick our opponent and hang back and do the prowess nonsense. We can cast 3 instants, so this can grow to be a 5/5. Or actually even more than that. So we'll hang back and see what happens here. They might have removal, which might make it a moot point. Or, you know, the hexproof could be sweet. Alright. Nighthawk. Okay. So give them a little bit of confidence to attack in. Alright, we'll opt. I'll take a Gitu. And then we'll dive down, grow that a bit. And then go to blocks and take out the Pride Mate. Alright, so that worked. Do we kill the Nighthawk? I think we do. Yeah, that's a lot in the exchange there. Okay. So with that information, we can go ahead and cast a Gitu. Attack in, he's grown. And then since we attacked, we get to chart a course. And we don't have to discard. And then we still have a dive down and a burst lightning available. So we're doing Izzet value things here. That's a good target to burst. Let's see if they have a follow-up play before doing that. Play a land. And then the overseers. So I'd rather do this now. We could hang back and, you know, kill the flyers, but I'm assuming we'll eventually draw into our own flyers. Alright. So they have 2 cards in hand, access to 1 mana. I'm sure they attack in with their 1/3. Yeah, alright. So they're gonna gain life, we lose a life. But they don't have the Siphoner as something to block. So we don't mind trading. So we'll first we don't necessarily have to trade. We'll attack in. Do they block? They do. So I'd rather keep the dive down for... Actually, no. That gives it +2, so it becomes a 4/3. Alright, that's fine. So they have a combat trick of their own. We don't really need to keep this around. We'll chart a course. Get value out of attacking. The burst lightning. Help finish off the overseer here. Alright, that worked out. And then it doesn't matter which land we play out. I'll put more blue. We're going to try to hang on to maybe a lane or 2 for discard just in case. So the board state, yeah, it looks pretty clean. Oh. We need a way to remove that. That might be the game winner for them. Alright, we'll scry. That's not gonna cut it. That's an instant. We'll just do that on their turn. Get a little bit more information before making any decisions. Okay. Do we find a way to survive here? We're down to 1. We draw 3 cards. Alright, we have a flyer. We have something to chump. Something to dive down. Alright, so the flyer always gets played, right? It does give it first strike, which is a problem. But the dive down is going to be relevant. We're going to need a second creature here. The chump. And then we can play out this blue and play out the 5/5. All right. So the dive down is going to be relevant for... Just kidding. We're dead. That's on attack declaration. Yikes. They got him there. Maybe they don't know. Oh boy. Yeah, maybe they don't know. Oops. All right, they got it. That's funny. All right. Well, that was close. That was close. If you're enjoying the video, please consider liking it or subscribing to the channel. It would really mean a lot. All right, we go first. That's always better. We don't really have any early turn plays, but maybe we can scry into one. We have some mid to late game plays, so we'll keep. Looking for something like a Gitu Lava Runner. Otherwise, that's fine. We'll slow roll it here. Some burn would be good. Okay. 2-drop. I'll gladly play that one out. So the question is, are they cat attack? I think they are, huh? Alright, we can get a flyer of our own out. No attacks. Wizard. They are on white. Okay. They got a trick, play it out. That might be a blow. We're getting bullied. Alright, that's at instant speed, so no point in rushing it out. That can grow their squad. Okay, so they hit their second land. This deals 5 damage. Yeah, we'll get some more instants in our graveyard here. Slow down the bleeding. Opt. We can do that in instant speed, that's fine. They play out a unicorn. And take our turn. Alright. Go ahead and cast Izzet. Hopefully they do not have removal. They do have 4 cards in hand. Playing a land out. Growing the team. How wide do they go? They have another trick. Wow. Okay, that's a fair trade. Alright. So this still gets prowess on our opponent's turn, so we might be able to do some fun stuff. They get to draw a card. They have 4 mana, 2 cards in hand. That grows. Pass to attacks. Alright, we'll just burst lightning. Now, how about we opt? We'll opt first, grow our guy, our gal. Don't need a land. And then choose to block here, because that is a good trade for us. It's not a trade. It's a good exchange, I should say. And then they get a unicorn. Alright. We frustrated them. So yeah, there was some good back and forth. You can definitely tell our opponent knows what they were doing. Maybe they're trying to just do their dailies and we were slowing them down. But it was a good game, like, you know, the ups and downs. So that's the type of matchup I'd like to see every time, to be honest. So it was a good chess match. Thanks for stopping by. Hey there, cons. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you out there in the plane of Tarkir.